This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
This episode is brought to you by Bumble, who says Valentine's Day is just for couples. Just because you're not in a relationship doesn't mean you can't get out there and live your best love life. That's where Bumble comes in. This February 14th, you can flip the script and give those relationshipers a friendly dose of FOMO. Say no to staying in this Valentine's Day and yes to more. More dates, more first kisses, more gossip for the group chat girlies. Do Valentine's your way. Date now on Bumble.
Let's party each and every year on Christmas Eve, where the fun and cocktail shrimp don't seem to end. Clark and Ralphie taking turns on the TV screen, laughing, singing, yelling with all of our friends. Well, it's Christmas, let the parties go spread the holiday cheer.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Matt. Before we jump into our topic for this week, can we do like a brief chat? Just
Sure.
real quick.
Sure.
So a little peek behind the curtain. We are recording this a little bit after July 4th. Have you noticed at all through your social media page that people are going hard this year on Halloween starts the day after July 4th?
I have definitely noticed it, and I don't know if it's... So it could be one of two things, right?
Yeah.
Thing number one... Actually, I guess it could be four things. Yeah, we'll stick with three. All right.
Okay.
So, it could be A, that people, like you said, just this year they woke up and they're like, fuck it. After 4th of July is Halloween, let's get there.
Yeah.
There's option number two, which is that this summer has been so aggressively hot that people are already just like fondly thinking of the next that cool fall holiday.
Yeah.
Or option three, these people have always existed. They've always been posting this content, but it was only in the last year of me routinely unfollowing and blocking people that annoyed me on Facebook that they have like risen in the content.
I'm thinking it's a mix of all three. I think there's been like a running joke the past few years that Halloween gets earlier and earlier every year.
Yeah.
People get into that spooky season mood. I'm going to go on the record of saying that I am 100% spooky yes right after July 4th because honestly, I'm with the second group of people in that. It's fucking hot, dude. And I'm kind of over this 100%. However,
you're not a glasses wearer as far as I know. I've never seen you wear glasses.
No.
I don't know if you're a contacts man.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that
No.
walking out of a beautifully AC'd house into any moment of the summer, you are temporarily blinded. Like, you're just like, what is your glasses fog? I've never seen anything fog as quickly as my glasses on a hot summer day when I step out of my house.
See, like, what's the need of that? What is the need for that?
Yeah.
Like why is life designed that way?
Yeah,
Nobody
it doesn't
needs
benefit
this
anybody.
heat.
No.
We're both on the East Coast.
Which is my favorite thing. Let me tell you something. As someone who talks to a lot of people on the West Coast, and they're like, oh, I could never live on the East Coast. I don't do well in the cold. It's like, motherfucker, you have one summer here. You will be dreaming of the cold for 6 months.
Yep.
Like,
It's just the summers, they're wet. It's a wet
it's
hot.
gross. It's so
gross.
I don't understand but like, here's what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Anybody who lives in the general area that we live in, I'll say roughly New York down to like Virginia
Yeah, I'll take it.
who says that summer is their favorite holiday, one of two things: teacher,
Yeah.
or have not grown up past looking forward to summer as a child, because
Yeah.
summer is actively the worst season that
Dude,
we
100%. 100%. And like
the
again,
only
and-
benefit of summer is like when you're a kid, you're dreaming of summer because it
Yep.
means no school for a couple months.
I
That's
fall
it.
into that first category, like fuck yeah, summer vacation. But I'm also like, could we like reorganize this a little bit?
Yeah.
I could dig a
Spring
winter
break would be great.
vacation.
Yeah.
like I'll go to school in the summer. You want to know why? Air conditioning.
Yeah. I used to work
I
at
don't
schools in the
mind it.
summer. It was great. Walking around an
Yeah.
empty air-conditioned building by myself, I was like, this is amazing.
Like that would be awesome. But I'll go on the record as saying I'm 100% spooky yes the day after July 4th. However, there's also a small community within that small community that get really pissed off when Christmas stuff starts coming out
Yeah.
a little early. To which I say, you can't have it both ways.
No. If you're going to start Halloween July 5th, let us start Christmas
Yep.
November 1st.
Yep. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't get upset. And
also,
we will
like-
see people get upset about it.
But here's the other thing. Like, and you and I have talked about this. You could have Halloween shit up in your house all year round and people just be like, man, they really like horror. That's totally normal.
Yep.
But like, you have Christmas stuff up in your house all year long. People are like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yep.
theoretically, we get 2 full months to not be looked at as psychopaths for caring
true.
about Christmas time.
It's
Like,
true.
let us have it. Let us have those 2 months
Yeah.
to really go all in on it. And
Yeah.
like, you and I have talked about this before. I probably watch less horror movies in October than any other month because it's like I watch so much horror already. Like, I almost get overwhelmed by this is like the one time that I feel like a punk rocker in the early 90s where I'm just like, all these fucking posers
Yeah.
just showing up out of the woodwork in October like, ooh, it's time that I can watch my horror movies. It's like, motherfucker, put that shit on whenever you want if you're a true horror fan.
Yeah.
Like, my
Be a
sibling,
real horror fan.
yeah, my sisters are both like, ooh, horror's too scary. And then all of a sudden, like, October rolls around, they're like, fuck yes, pumpkin spice lattes. I'm going to watch all the Halloween movies. And
Yeah.
it's like,
You're like, I fucking bleed this.
you think this is a fucking costume?
I fucking live for Halloween, bro. My fucking blood is pumpkin spice. You
Which is,
fucking
like, let's-
Terminator
let-
2 it. You cut your arm off. And it's
Yeah.
fucking-
Also, I'm going to throw this out there.
yeah.
Hot take.
I like pumpkin spice.
No. My hot
Okay.
take is going to be that as a person, we're both people without kids.
Yes.
Christmas is way better than Halloween.
Oh,
if you're a person
100%.
without kids. You know what I mean? Like,
100%,
the
man.
night of Halloween gives me very little to care
Yeah.
about. Like,
Yeah.
I sit down and I watch old black and white horror movies and I hand out candy. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, it's whatever. Christmas, I'm like, I'm seeing family. I'm getting presents. I'm ripping open presents. Everyone's happy. We're eating a big ass meal. Like, Christmas is so much better than Halloween. Unless,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think even if you have kids, Christmas is better than Halloween. Like,
Yeah.
Halloween is maybe the better month. Like,
Yeah.
like the weather's a little bit better. You have more of an excuse to like watch spooky stuff and hang out with friends.
I like watching shit, so that's like
Yeah.
and I think that's most of the. I honestly think that's most of our friends.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you like go down the list of the people that we know that are like, fucking yeah, Halloween, yes, spooky time, yes.
Yeah, it's like, you've been living this already.
They're doing the same shit that they've been doing all year long.
Yeah, most of our friends who are posting those memes are going to do the same thing on July 5th that they did on July 3rd. Like it's
Yeah,
not.
like that on October 15th. They're gonna watch Halloween 4, and you know what they did 2 days ago? They watched Halloween 4. Like,
Yeah.
they're doing the same exact shit. The only difference is that there's like haunts open on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like that is literally the only difference in October. But yeah, I'm 100% spooky season yes, because I just like looking forward to shit. I think that's something you and I have established.
I don't know about you, but like right now, to post date this episode just a little bit, I am firmly in Threads mania because I'm reminded of, and it's not like, look, social media is a virus. Like, you shouldn't have it. It's a bad idea, etc. Yes, I am aware. I am a big proponent of that for people's mental health. Yeah. But Threads launching is probably the closest I've come to feeling that same excitement of like signing up for MySpace or Facebook for the first time and just being like, everybody's here. This is awesome. Like, it's that cool manic moment before like the ads have rolled in and the bots have rolled in, where it's just like you log in and it's just all of the people that you like sharing opinions that you enjoy before it gets bad. And like Threads will get bad. Like let's be very clear. Like, we're all sitting here like, hopefully Threads takes down Twitter, and like, yes, but like, where are those angry Twitter people going to go when Twitter's gone?
They're going to end up on Threads. I mean, everything eventually gets bad. I don't know, man. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I cannot start another one. Listen, I don't like supporting Twitter. I don't. But everybody I follow and like it's.
I think they're already moved to Threads, my dude. It's
part of my doom scrolling. Like,
I know, but that's I need the non-doom scrolling. You know what I see?
But that's my thing. Is like, I need, if Twitter goes away, I don't need a happy version of Twitter. I need nothing. Like if Twitter goes away, I'm done.
This was my first thread, which I guess is what we're going to be saying now in a couple of years. My first thread was literally, and I truly mean this, I can't wait to see what this social media app can truly do during the next award show or live television event. Like, that's going to be like the make or break for me on Threads.
That's going to be the one. And I'm going to want your update. I need you to be like, bro, you need to join Thread, man.
Like, if I'm like scrolling through while like the Emmys are on and it's just like banger joke after another, I'm going to be like, thank God. Thank God.
You're like, Dylan, you got to come join me on the bright side.
Yeah. Like, because you know what it's like now. Like, you don't even get that on Twitter. Like, you're watching a live thing and you'll get the banger jokes, but then because you can't really filter stuff that great, it's just like, oh, these fucking psychopaths sucking the dick of the Hollywood elite. And it's like, I just want to make jokes about the Oscars, motherfucker. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Or like the For You page. And you're like, well, how did this get on my, like...
Yeah, what broke my algorithm?
Yeah, exact opposite. But you know who would probably break your algorithm? Willie, played by Billy Bob Thornton in the movie we're talking about this week.
We found a way in there. Bad Santa celebrating 20 years of existence.
This episode is brought to you by Bumble, who says Valentine's Day is just for couples. Just because you're not in a relationship doesn't mean you can't get out there and live your best love life. That's where Bumble comes in. This February 14th, you can flip the script and give those relationshipers a friendly dose of FOMO. Say no to staying in this Valentine's Day and yes to more. More dates, more first kisses, more gossip for the group chat girlies. Do Valentine's your way. Date now on Bumble.
What's up, everybody? This is Brian here to tell you about our podcast, Bingetown TV. Our hosts include 7 best friends with a love for all things television. We cover a range of genres with a focus on fantasy and sci-fi, but also dip our feet into drama, horror, comedy, and pretty much anything we think is good television. We use the traditional deep dive formula for new live shows that are released week to week, but our calling card is our Rooks and Vets and Pitchtown TV series. Rooks and Vets pairs 2 of our hosts that have seen a show with 2 of our hosts that have not seen a show. Pitchtown TV is when we have a special guest pitch us a show by having us watch the pilot and trying to convince us to watch the rest. If you're craving more content on some of your favorite TV shows, then you should listen to Bingetown TV.
Find us on our website at bingetowntv.com, the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, or wherever else you may find your podcast.
So 20 years, what's the exact date on that?
I think the exact date is obviously closer to Christmas time. I want to say it was a November release.
Okay. I really thought that you're like, dude, we're going to talk Bad Santa, 20-year anniversary. And I was like, this movie came out in August? or July?
November 26th,
Nice.
2003. Which also reminds me that my 20-year high school reunion is quickly approaching, and that's sad. Here's the thing with this movie.
Yeah.
I
hit me
feel
with
like
it.
I've never quite landed on what I think about this movie.
Yeah.
I own it, but that's not like the biggest seal of approval because I own a lot of shit. I think that this movie really does an impressive job, impressive with a question mark in quotations, of balancing really, really aggressive, offensive comedy with some genuinely heartfelt, sweet moments in a way that does not make sense to me.
Yeah.
I do also applaud them to a certain extent. Like Willie is a truly unlikable character.
Yeah.
And they do not like try to sugarcoat that. You know
And
what I mean?
I would
Like
argue, at least, and we'll get into this, the version that I watched, Willie began as an unlikable character and ended as an unlikable character.
yeah, it wasn't
Like, there was
he got
no like,
yeah,
and
his
he saw
his
the error of his ways.
no, like his redemption essentially at its core is just that he gives a shit about one kid.
Yeah. The
You know what I
fact that
mean?
like he kind of shows the kid like, hey, you should beat the shit out of these kids for bullying you. And then, oh, you didn't do it, so I'm just going to do it. Like
Yeah. But even like everything kind of falls apart just trying to get him the pink elephant. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yep.
there are those sweet moments. I almost wish that the movie ended with Willie dying. Like I think that him like surviving and writing a letter from jail is a little bit of a cop out.
yeah.
But I mean the movie when I think about this movie, I literally think of like when he's playing pinball with the underage girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this character is so unlikable. Like he's so unlikable. And I don't think that he's had this, like, you know how like anti-heroes constantly become like, like I don't see people being like, fucking Willie, he got it right. Like,
Yep.
I think people unanimously agree, like, yeah, the movie's kind of funny, but like he's a true asshole in that
Dude,
movie.
If anything, like the most likable character in this movie is Tony Cox.
yeah.
Like I know Tony Cox is kind of set up as our quote unquote villain at the end, but everything that he did, I'm like, I get it. Like,
when he's holding Willie at gunpoint, just being like, you're a monster and you fuck up everything.
Yeah. Like, if
Fact.
listen, like it's well established that they are criminals. Like Tony Cox's character takes this shit very seriously. He's like, we need to get in, we need to get out. He also seems to have some form of moral compass.
Yeah. To a certain extent, anyway. Yeah.
Like he's telling them like, don't cuss in front of the kids. Like we're playing these parts. Like there's some form of something's working in his mind that's not working in Willie's mind at all. And that is how to carry yourself as a human being. Dude, I watched a cut of this that was 89 minutes long. From what I've heard, you watched a cut of it that was 100 minutes long. There's a 93-minute cut of this movie. Since when the fuck did Bad Santa become Nightbreed and Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Because-
Well, the thing that I think is the most interesting, and I've only heard this a few times, like
Yeah.
a scenario like this, is you have the unrated version,
Yes.
you have the theatrical version,
Yep.
and then the shortest version is the director's cut.
Yep.
Something similar to that, you and I texted ever so briefly about this, was Club
Yeah.
Dread.
Yeah.
The director of Club Dread has actively said the theatric cut is the director's cut. Like the unrated version of that movie is not director approved.
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's the same thing with the unrated Bad Santa, where they're just like, because you remember there was this period when DVD
Everything
became a
had
thing.
an unrated cut.
Oh my God. In like 2000, they were just like, here's 20 minutes of bullshit that we're going to just throw into the movie
Yeah.
and release. Thankfully, I feel like most of that has gone away.
Yeah,
again.
if there's a different cut, there's a reason for it usually. A producer came in and cut it, or a director actually cut it and was like, I didn't like the way it turned out. I will say that the director Zwigoff went and said, like, no, that 89-minute cut that I made, that is the version of the movie that I like. Apparently it omits the boxing scene and random shit.
He pulled out the entire score and replaced it with classical music, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, and pretty much everything that had Willie kind of training the boy or like showing him like that, all of that shit is gone. All of it.
So like, he didn't want there to be anything really there except for him giving a shit about the kid getting his Christmas gift.
Yeah, pretty much. I will say, as somebody who loves a quick in and out, 89 minutes,
not bad.
Nailed it. I was perfectly fine with it. This is a movie that I did watch a lot as a kid, and I watched the Badder Santa version as a kid, the 100-minute one. I was always of the mindset of like, all my friends liked it because they're like, oh, it's a Christmas movie that says fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think that's like the main appeal of it, right? Like, it's funny, the director's cut, I think, omits one of the only jokes that I really, truly love in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is the very beginning when he's sitting at the bar after their first heist, and he makes a comment where, like, Tony Cox is like, this time next year, you're going to be calling me up because you're going to blow all of this money. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to escape to a resort. I'm going to be the bartender at that resort. And then it like cuts to like 10 months later, and he's like behind the bar and he's making a drink. And then the bartender comes around the corner. He's like, I told you not to come back here.
Yeah,
like,
the director's cut does cut that out. I remember that shit when I was a kid.
It's a great joke.
It is.
It's such a good joke. And I saw that when I was scrolling through the IMDb list of all the things that they cut. I'm like, oh, why would you cut that? That's a great bit.
This isn't a movie I'm going to watch every year, man. And
no.
It hasn't. I feel like when I was younger, I always tried to fit it in.
Us watching this was the first time I think I physically put my DVD into a DVD player.
Yeah.
Every time for probably the last decade that I've watched this movie, it's been at someone else's house around Christmas time, and they're like, ooh, let's put on like, it's like I have friends who it's like, ooh, we're gonna watch some Christmas movies, and like when I hear, ooh, we're gonna watch some Christmas movies, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's watch some Miracle on 34th Street, let's pop on the Shop Around the Corner. Their version is like, we're gonna watch Krampus, and then we're gonna watch Scrooge, and then we're gonna watch Bad Santa, and then we're gonna watch Die Hard 1 and 2, and then we're gonna follow it up with, and it's just like, oh, you're doing like the edgy. This is the edgy Christmas get together.
Christmas, if you will. I mean, I will say it's not even that it's.
I'm fine with those movies.
Yeah.
But like, after I've watched 4 black and white Christmas movies, I'm like, yeah, maybe it's time to pepper in some Die Hard because but yeah, when you're sitting there and you're like all day, all the horror movies, all the Christmas movies, you said, what? This is a Christmas movie? This is an R-rated movie. But
I would argue that not even like, it's not that I don't like it because it's a vulgar Christmas movie. I love The Night Before. I think that is a phenomenal movie. It's got heartfelt
the edge
moments.
of 2003 has just so fallen apart in 20 years.
And I just don't think it's funny. Like, I just don't think it's funny. I don't need to watch 90 minutes of Billy Bob Thornton getting shit on in a Santa costume. Getting puked on in a Santa costume, pissing his pants in a Santa costume. Like, I felt like the whole joke was just, it's drunk Santa. You get it? He's an asshole. And he's going to be an asshole this entire movie. And for some odd reason, Lauren Graham's going to fall in love with him because
that is a thing that is never
Santa.
explained.
Like, there's that, like, the movie doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it's definitely
because even not Santa version, I'm gonna put this on the record. Angelina Jolie, I don't get it, man. Billy Bob Thornton, not a great looking dude.
No,
like, I don't understand like this character who Lauren Graham, gorgeous.
Absolutely
Gorgeous lady.
stunning.
There's no way. This piss drunk, he's still wearing the piss pants, I think.
Yeah, I feel like they make him almost comically bad. You know what I mean? Like it's it's like this dude is like, he is a man that cannot function as a human in society. like it's not just like, oh, he's a douchebag. Like I understand why in 2004, that's probably when I first watched this. I watched this in college, early college. Yeah. Totally understand why in 2004 we were like, fuck yeah, this is the best. Like,
yeah.
But not all of his movies work. You know what I mean? Like, look, and this is coming from a dude who defends the American Pie movies almost too much. You know what I mean? Like to the point where people might think a specific way about me. But I think that some of those movies, the jokes still aged well, even if the political correctness surrounding it has not. This one, the jokes just didn't age with the it feels way more offensive for the sake of being offensive.
Yeah. And
like anytime that the joke of the movie isn't this so offensive, you know that it's not going to age. It's the same thing with comparatively a movie that I think is astronomically better than Bad Santa in every way. Watching the first Borat after the first viewing is always diminishing returns because so much of what made that movie enjoyable was the shock of, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of the same thing with Bad Santa. Like it's shocking the first time you see it because it is like, this is not, I guess that's what I was trying to say with like him playing pinball is there's a way that you make this movie and you still play it kind of safe, but it is like shocking how far they go to establish how much of a piece of shit Willie is.
And I think the difference is, you brought up the American Pie movies. I think that a lot of that shit works because underlying is the story of these four friends who, even the one that's the most dickish, Stifler, like they all still care about each other, like they all still love each other. Where I would argue again that this movie ends with, he made sure the kid got a pink elephant, but to be fair, he's still kind of a prick. Like he's still an asshole. He was an asshole the entire movie. He didn't change at all.
Changed nothing. It's definitely a movie that hasn't aged beautifully at all. This is like one, we talk about like the every year watches, even the every other year watches.
Yeah.
This is definitely falling into a category of like, maybe every 5 years I'll be like, I wonder if Bad Santa holds up. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and even then it's like a curiosity watch. Or, like I said, I'm at someone's house and they pop it on. Like, those are the only times that it gets watched. It's not like, it's definitely not like something like It's a Wonderful Life or even Home Alone 1 and 2, where I feel like I need to sit down and watch this movie during December or I will feel like I have failed at my Christmas celebration. You know what I mean? Like, my Christmas is not made or broken by if I watched Bad Santa this year.
So the movie does kind of take off in a big way, especially with the kid. Like I think
that
kind
actor is
got
fantastic.
Exactly. Where it got popular was the kid. And the kid did like kind of go off and make his own shit. He was basically the It kid or the Stranger Things kids of that time. Like you would just see him start popping up into like random sequels. He was in the Sandlot sequel. There apparently was a Like Mike sequel that he popped up in. He was in Trick or Treat. But they come back 13 years later and they make Bad Santa 2, which I have never seen. Can you give me
haven't either, and I hear that it is bad. Like,
yeah. So I can't even imagine because I don't like the movie that everyone said is good.
Let me see.
I can't imagine I would like the movie that everyone says is bad.
So they did get Billy Bob Thornton back, which is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah,
and
they got
Cox.
Tony Cox back. And Kathy Bates is in this too.
Okay, so they've got a very written out plot here.
Octavia
let's see.
Spencer comes back.
Yeah, it features criminals Willie and Marcus again teaming up to work as Santa and Elf, respectively, this time to rob a Chicago charity on Christmas Eve. Lovely.
So I think that, if anything, that makes me dislike this movie more.
Yeah, because it completely negates everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, any growth that he had is gone.
And Tony Cox and his wife murdered a man.
Yeah. Also, flip side is, in contrast to the original film, it received generally negative reviews and grossed $24 million worldwide against its $26 million budget, less than a third of its original film's $76.5 million run, making it a box office bomb. So I don't think that we'll be getting a Bad Santa 3 at this point in time.
Especially because what they forced this kid to do is really unhealthy. He had lost a bunch of weight, and apparently to gain back, and he gained more than 40 pounds of weight back, he would consume smoked meat sandwiches in Montreal while they were filming.
This poor kid. Like,
it's not worth it, man.
I guess in his mind he thought, this is it. This is my comeback special. Like,
he is one rap career away from being Dag Farsh.
Yeah.
That kid from Halloween, the Halloween remake. Because that kid did the same thing. He did that. He popped up in Hancock, and then he started making rap music. And being really weird with his mother.
Well, Dylan,
yeah,
I think that you're a very good Santa, and I like you being my good Santa.
You are the bestest Santa.
Oh, whoa, now we won't stop till the big ball drops on New Year's. Happy holly, have a great holly, have a merry happy holiday.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.